Hi everyone, I'm back with another plan with me, and I'm really excited for this plan with me because this week I will be using a Caress Press kit, which if you guys have seen my hauls, you know I love Caress Press, so it is about time I finally used one of her kits. The kit I chose for today is her Savannah kit. So it's one of her kits where she's made it kind of to go a certain way in your planner, and obviously you don't have to do it this way, but I think it looks gorgeous like this, so I do intend to lay it out how she designed it. So this is the full kit and I'm really excited to get started. I am working with the Happy Planner, so I'm actually going to make a few adjustments in the Happy Planner just so I can get the kit to look the way it wants in my planner. So as I was saying, there is a certain way that I wanted this kit to look in the Happy Planner. As you can see, the Happy Planner, the days go like kind of butt up right up against each other. And I was never a big fan of that. Like I dealt with it for the most part, but with this kit, because it's just so like visual, I do want to have the spacing in between the days like the Erin Condren does. So I decided to kind of redraw the columns and try to basically shift everything over so that I would have the spacing, if that makes any sense at all, which hopefully it does. It makes sense to me at least. And I actually, so this is kind of funny, but I did a test run of it just to make sure it would fit on both pages, and I even like measured out all the different components of the kit just to make sure it would cover everything the way I wanted to be covered. So I'm really hoping this works out. I just think visually having that separation between the days just looks better. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, so that is all my boxes redrawn. Now I'm just gonna go in with some whiteout and white out the green that would be showing in between these boxes. So try to do that really carefully. And I'll zoom you guys in a little bit for this part. Hopefully that covered up everything that I needed to cover, and hopefully all my calculations are right. Like, I actually did math for this, guys. So I'm just gonna start putting everything down. This kit is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just gonna put it down exactly how it's laid out on the sheets here. So I'm probably not gonna talk through it just because I think I'm gonna need to concentrate. So I'll just speed up the rest of the video. so this is the finished spread. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think it looks beautiful. I'm really glad I went with the decision to do the spacing in between the days. I do think that aesthetically it does look a little bit better because these colors are so vibrant that I like there to just be a little bit of a space in between each column. Now, I have seen people with the Happy Planner who use this kit and they used it just as normal, and it still turns out really, really pretty. It just looks like one continuous piece of art, really, because these boxes would be together. But I'm glad this is what I prefer, so I'm really glad I went with it. You can, up close and in person, you can see some of the whiteout that I used in between the lines, but that doesn't bother me too much. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I did have a little bit of a learning process with this. So as you can see, you can probably tell on camera that I struggled a little bit with the first half of the week just because, I was really nervous. I was actually like sweating when I was doing it because I was so nervous I would put something down wrong. But these stickers actually turned out to be pretty easy to peel up. It did kind of tear up the page a little bit underneath, but not really as much as I would have expected, considering this is the first time I'm working with vinyl stickers. So after I got to the second half of the week, things went a lot smoother. I think it turned out a lot straighter. I'm really glad that this turned out how it did. And then for the first half of the week, I wound up starting from the top to go down, and I wound up putting that top washi just a little bit too far up, so there's a tiny bit of white space underneath here, but obviously I learned my lesson for the second half, and I just started from the top down to make sure I covered up the dates because that does take up some more room there. And then the only other thing was the sidebar. I kind of wish I would have cut it a little bit more so that there'd be just a sliver of white space on the side, but that's fine. And as you can tell, I did wind up putting in a weekly box there. I thought I would like how it would look with just the sidebar, but I like to have something else to kind of break it up a little bit. And I did wind up cutting out that portion because I just think the graphics here are so pretty that I hate to just cover it up with a sticker and not be able to see it. So as you can see, I did kind of save the pieces that I cut, even like this teeny tiny little strip, because I am determined not to waste a single bit of this gorgeous Caress Press stickers. So yeah, and now I'm just gonna go in and add in just a couple little things to finish off the spread. So first thing, I'm gonna go in with the weekend banner here, and I'm actually going to put that in the today section because, in case you can't tell by now, I really don't like covering up graphics. I think they're really pretty and I want them to shine through. So that's part of the reason, but also because the pattern down here is a little bit busy, so I don't want the weekend banner to get, well actually the weekend banner is plain enough that I don't think it would get lost in the busyness, but I've seen some spreads where the background pattern's busy and then the weekend banner pattern is busy and then it just kind of gets lost. But I am gonna still put it right over here. Perfect, I like how that looks. And this week is not too busy for me, which is one of the reasons I wanted to use this kit, because again, my whole thing about not covering up too much of the graphics, I didn't want a really busy week where I would have to write everything I need to do, like tons of stuff in here, because I think it just detracts from the gorgeous flowers that there are down here. So this week, the main things I have to do is really just to study. I do have one of my big tests on Thursday, so that'll really be all I will be doing up until then, is just cramming for that test. So I will go in with my usual little book stickers, and I'll just put them on each of these days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Or actually not Thursday, but just Monday, Wednesday. And then Thursday is my big test day. Thursday is also the day that I have a dinner. So I'm gonna hold off on that and kind of think about how I want to do that. Then Friday, I don't think I have anything going on Friday, except just to keep studying because I have a law exam next Thursday. So gotta make sure to just power through. And then the weekend, same, I will just put little book stickers down on Saturday and Sunday. Almost done. I'm like in the home stretch of it. Once next Thursday passes, I can take it easy and kind of take a breather. So then the other thing I want to note is that on Saturday, so I used to volunteer at the animal shelter, but my life has just been so busy in the past year that I had to stop. So now that everything's settled down a little bit, I want to start up again, but I do need to get retrained and reoriented. They actually moved into a different building since I was last there. So I'm just gonna retake the cat class as well as the small animal class again, just as a little like refresher. So I have 2 of those classes on Saturday. I believe it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday. And then I also want to call my mom on Saturday as well. So I'm going to go in with just this little sticker first. So it's just her little to call icon. And I'm going to put that down here. So I think these boxes are perfect for the little things. So I'm going to use that. And then I don't actually have any icons for the animal training. So I'm just gonna leave that blank for now because the icons she includes in the kit don't really go with it. I thought about doing like the workout one because I never use the workout ones, but it's not actually a workout. So I don't know, I might just leave it as is for now. So for Thursday, I pulled out some of these mini flags. This is from Jubilo or Planner Sticker Jubilo Planner Sticker. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I think the blue color should go pretty well with this. I think I might pick these 2 right here. That should match pretty well. Yep. So I'm gonna put one down for my exam, which is at 8 in the morning. So at least I get it done and out of the way early on. And then I have a dinner at 6. So we'll put those 2 down. And I'll probably study in between too. So that is that. And then I also pulled out some of these little date dots. These are clear, which I really like. And I got these from Michael's. They're part of the Heidi Swap collection. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put them across the tops of the days. Alright, so that's done, and if you couldn't tell, I actually didn't even want to put these over the flowers, even though they are clear for the most part. I don't know, that's just, I know it's really weird, but I don't like to cover up the graphics, so I put them right on top, and I think that looks fine that way. And then the other thing I wanted to note here is, so I ordered quite a lot of things because, so it's currently Friday before the holiday weekend, and there's a lot of shops that are having 4th of July or just holiday sales right now. So I've ordered quite a few things from a couple different shops, and I want to just use this list basically as a Happy Mail list so I can keep track of what I'm expecting. So I think I'm going to use, I have these little sampler icons from Sweet Kawaii Designs, and I have a smaller one and a larger one, so I think the smaller one will look a little bit better here. So that is what I'm going to use just in the sidebar. So next, I know it is 4th of July on Monday, and I'm not a big fan of the themed holiday kits, so that's why I didn't do a 4th of July kit for this week. But I had purchased this from the Target dollar section. Now that I'm looking at it though, I don't think this will really go. Like, the color is nice, but some of these stickers are just really big and blocky, and I would love to use this one, but it just doesn't really go with the kit. So I don't think I'm gonna use it. Hopefully that's not unpatriotic to choose a sticker kit over marking down a national holiday. But yeah, I just don't think I'm gonna use any of that. So that is that. I'll show you what I have left, and then I'll just kind of wrap up with some of my final thoughts and any like tips or tricks for people who may want to do this in their happy planner. So I have a couple little sheets, I have a couple little icons and flags left here. I know I could have used these two labels to write down my big events, but it just didn't make sense to me to use labels to cover up an area that is meant for you to write on. So I'd rather just write straight on the sticker and save these for another spread. So I will save these, obviously, and make use of them. I still have the little bits of the sidebar sticker left, which I will definitely be saving and making use of. I still have two of the weekly or sidebar stackers, as well as a couple of the headers for those. And then the last two sheets, these two I have completely finished up. I'm actually thinking, and I don't know if this is really weird, but I'm going to cut out this little crest press little area here and save those, and maybe use this to mark down whenever she has like new releases, or when her mystery kit goes up, or whenever she has like the discontinued kit sale again. I think I might do that because, like, I don't know, it's just really cute. That might be weird. Overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I do, like I said before, prefer to have the days visually broken up with this little bit of white space here, so I'm glad that I was able to do that, and I'm even more glad that it doesn't look terrible now that I've done that. And going forward, I'll probably do this for, I want to say, a majority of my kits. I don't know, it'll just be dependent on whether I think they'll look better like this, or if they will look better with the boxes right next to each other. So there are some kits that I don't mind having the boxes next to each other. So for example, the kit I did last week with Willowfields, there's a lot of white in these full boxes, as well as like these checklists. Even though they're very bright colorful colors, the center is blanked out. So I think that this looks just fine as it is. I didn't feel the need to kind of do what I did with the crest press. But this kit has just such vibrant colors that I did want to kind of break it up a little bit. So that's just my preference. Definitely a learning curve with this. There's a couple of things I would do differently, namely that next time I'd probably just start at the bottom, now that I know that I have enough stickers to cover the top. And again, this is with the crest press kit. I'm probably going to have to do some math and measurements again for the other kits that I might do this with, but that's fine. That's part of the fun, actually. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how this turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.